So in this lecture, we will discuss about the annual examination second year DMLT annual examination question 2026 का DMLT एंड DMRT एग्जामिनेशन बोर्ड उड़ीसा का पेपर 2 यानी कि माइक्रोबायोलॉजी का क्वेश्चन है। और ये जो लेक्चर होगा ये बेसिकली 3 to 4 लेक्चर हो जाएगा क्योंकि लेंथी है। ठीक है, सो टुडे इज लेक्चर नंबर 1, so we have lecture number 1. Okay, so let's start the question. So as you can see here, you have 3 long question given. So out of 3 you have to do any 2 of these, right? And then the next is the short note part. Okay, you have to attempt any 4, okay, out of 6 question. And then briefly the laboratory diagnosis of the following, lab diagnosis दिया गया है। ठीक है, so you have to attempt any 5 out of 6 question, and the last is give 2 example of the following. okay, so 10 question दिया गया है, सारे ये 2 मार्क का। ठीक है, टोटल हो गया 20 मार्क। so these all are, so all of the here you can see here the total number of mark is 100 mark. okay, so लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन सारे 15 मार्क का हो गया। ठीक है, दोनों करेंगे 30 मार्क। ठीक है, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन। सो पहला क्वेश्चन क्या हो गया हमारा कि जस्ट वेट अ सेकंड हियर। ओके, सो नेम द वेरियस डिजीज कॉजिंग एमोeba एंड डिस्क्राइब एमोबिक द लैबोरेटरी डायग्नोसिस एंड सैंपल कलेक्शन ऑफ डिसेंट्री। ओके, सो ये था क्वेश्चन हमारा। चलिए हम डिस्कस कर लेते हैं इसको। तो इसका आंसर देखिए, तो एमोइबा आर द यूनिसेलुलर प्रोटोजोन पैरासाइट। ठीक है, दैट मूव्ड बाय मीन्स ऑफ स्यूडोपोडिया यानी कि फॉल्स फीट। ठीक है, सो एमोइबा एक क्या होता है, एक यूनिसेलुलर प्रोटोजोन पैरासाइट होता है, यानी कि इसका शरीर सिर्फ एक ही सेल से बनता है। दैट्स व्हाई कॉल्ड एज यूनिसेलुलर। व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ यूनिसेलुलर? दैट मीन्स मेड अप ऑफ सिंगल सेल। ठीक है, और ये स्यूडोपोडिया यानी कि फॉल्स फीड के मदद से ये चलता है। ठीक है, सो व्हाइल मेनी एमोएबा आर हार्मलेस एंड लाइव फ्रीली इन नेचर, some species are pathogenic and can cause a serious disease in humans. ठीक है, सो बहुत सारा एमोएबा ऐसे प्रकृति में होता है जो कि फ्री लिविंग होता है। ठीक है, और किसी प्रकार की नुकसान भी नहीं पहुंचता है। ठीक है, लेकिन कुछ ऐसा होता है जो कि इंसान में एक गंभीर बीमारी पैदा कर सकती है। ठीक है, इट कैन कॉज द वेरी सीरियस डिजीज। ओके, एंड द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट डिजीज कॉज एमोइबा इज एंटामोइबा हिस्टोलाटिका। ठीक है, तो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण रोग क्या है? एंटामोइबा हिस्टोलाटिका। ठीक है, व्हिच इज रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द एमोबाइसिस एंड एमोबिक डिसेंट्री। ठीक है, सो ये क्या करता है कि एमोबाइसिस और एमोबिक डिसेंट्री का मुख्य कारण होता है। कौन? ये एंटामोइबा हिस्टोलाटिका। ठीक है, देन एमोबाइसिस इज ए मेजर पब्लिक हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम इन डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज वेयर sanitation and clean water supply are inadequate, right? so ये बीमारी ज़्यादातर कहाँ दिखा जाता है कि ये जनरली डेवलपिंग कंट्री में दिखता है। ठीक है, जहाँ पर क्या होता है, प्रॉपर सैनिटेशन नहीं होता है और क्लीन वाटर सप्लाई नहीं होता है, ये उस जगह पर दिखता है। ओके, जस्ट वेट अ सेकेंड हियर, सम टेक्निकल इशू। ओके, क्लियर एवरीवन नाउ। ठीक है, सो द नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज द डिजीज मेनली अफेक्ट द लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन। ओके, सो द डिजीज मेनली अफेक्ट द लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन। एज यू कैन सी हियर, द डिजीज मेनली affect the large intestine part but may also spread to the liver and other organs. ठीक है, तो ये रोग मुख्य रूप से क्या करता है कि लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन को प्रभावित करते हैं, लेकिन कभी कभी क्या करता है कि लीवर और दूसरे अंग तक भी फैल सकती है ये। ठीक है, ओके, So next we can see about the various disease causing amoeba. Okay, so several amoeba are known to infect the humans. So the important pathogenic species are, पहला हो गया एंटामोइबा हिस्टोलार्टिका. Okay, so the entamoeba histolytica, it is the most common pathogenic intestinal amoeba. Okay, so entamoeba histolytica कॉमन और सबसे ज़्यादा रोग पैदा करने वाले एंटामोइबा हिस्टोलार्टिका. ठीक है, इट कॉज द एमोबाइसिस, एमोबिक कोलिटस एंड एमोबिक डिसेंट्री. ठीक है, in severe cases it invades the bloodstream and causes liver abscess, lung infections and brain abscess. ठीक है, अगर इन्फेक्शन क्या होगा कि ज़्यादा हो जाता है. ठीक है, तो ये खून के जरिए क्या करता है कि शरीर के अन्य अंग तक पहुंच सकता है, और इसमें क्या होता है कि लीवर एब्सेस हो जाता है और लॉन्ग इन्फेक्शंस हो जाता है और ब्रेन एब्सेस भी हो सकता है. ठीक है, so transmissions occur through ingestion of mature cyst in contaminated food and water. ओके, सो इस एमोइबा का संक्रमण तब होता है जब कोई व्यक्ति दूषित खाना या पानी के साथ इसके मैच्योर सिस्ट निकल लेता है. ठीक है, सो इसलिए साफ पानी पीना और स्वच्छता के ध्यान रखना बहुत जरूरी है. ठीक है, सो जनरली इट्स ट्रांसमिशन थ्रू अकर थ्रू द इंजेक्शन ऑफ मैच्योर सिस्ट थ्रू द कंटामिनेटेड फूड एंड वाटर. क्लियर एवरीवन? सो दीज ऑल आर द एंटामोइबा हिस्टोलार्टिका. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट is Naegleria fowleri. Okay, so it is commonly called as brain eating amoeba. It is commonly called as brain eating amoeba. So it found in warm freshwater, lake, pond and swimming pool, and it enters the body through the nose during swimming, right? सो इसको आम भाषा में हम क्या कहते हैं कि ब्रेन ईटिंग एमोइबा कहा जाता है. ठीक है, एंड ये जनरली कहाँ मिलता है? वार्म फ्रेश वाटर में, यानी कि लेक में, पॉन्ड में एंड स्विमिंग पूल में पाया जाता है. एंड ये जनरली एंटर करता है बॉडी में ड्यूरिंग द स्विमिंग. इट एंटर थ्रू द नोज. ओके, देन द नेक्स्ट इज वी हैव Acanthamoeba species. Okay, so Acanthamoeba species. So these are the free living amoeba present in soil, dust and water. Okay, these are the free living amoeba which are present in soil, dust and water. So it causes the Acanthamoeba keratitis, यानी कि especially in contact lens user. Okay, in lens user it especially cause, right? Next is Balamuthia mandrillaris. Okay, so it is a soil dwelling amoeba that infects the human through skin on or inhalation. Okay, so Balamuthia mandillaris, ठीक है, एक सोयल ड्रिलिंग अमोइबा है, यानी कि ज़्यादातर मिट्टी में पाया जाता है. ठीक है, ये ज़्यादातर कहाँ पाया जाता है? मिट्टी में पाया जाता है. ठीक है, और ये जो है ये इंसान के शरीर में स्किन के घाव या स्किन के साथ अंदर जा सकती है. ठीक है, एंड इट कॉजेज द ग्रैन्युलोमाटस एमोइबिक एनसेफेलाइटिस. इट कॉजेज द ग्रैन्युलोमाटस एनसेफेलाइटिस affecting the central nervous system. Infections is rare but often life threatening. समझ रहे हो? इनकी शरीर में जाने के बाद ये ब्रेन और सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम को प्रभावित करते हैं. ठीक है, और ग्रैन्युलोमाटस एमोबिक एनसेफेलाइटिस नाम की एक गंभीर बीमारी हो जाता है. ठीक है, सो ये जो इन्फेक्शंस है ये रेयर है, लेकिन हो जाए तो जानलेवा भी साबित हो सकता है. ओके, इट इज रेयर. ठीक है, इट इज रेयर, ये बहुत ही रेयर है, बट अगर हो जाए तो जानलेवा भी साबित हो सकते हैं, यानी कि ऑफन लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग. समझ रहे हो? क्लियर एवरीवन? नेक्स्ट इज Saphinia pedata. So it is a very rare amoebic associated with human encephalitis. Only a few cases have been reported worldwide. ठीक है, सो ये जनरली बहुत ही रेयर पाया जाता है, ये यानी कि एमोबिक एसोसिएटेड विद ह्यूमन एनसेफेलाइटिस। एंड इस एंड अगर वर्ल्ड वाइड अगर हम बात करें तो बहुत ही फ्यू केसेस रिपोर्ट किया गया है इस साइनेरिया पेडाटा के बारे में। ठीक है, क्लियर एवरीवन? So here you can see the summary table. Okay, you will practice here all the summary here. Entamoeba histolytica, the main site affected in intestine and liver. Okay, then Naegleria fowleri is affected site is brain. Then Acanthamoeba species is affected in eye and brain. Then Balamuthia mandrillaris affected in brain. Then Saphinia pedata is affected in brain. Okay, these are the Saphinia pedata is rare encephalitis. ठीक है, clear everyone? नेक्स्ट, ओके, सो नेक्स्ट पूछा गया कि एमोबिक डिसेंट्री के बारे में हम डिस्क्राइब करें। ठीक है, सो व्हाट अबाउट द एमोबिक डिसेंट्री? ओके, सो एमोबिक डिसेंट्री इज एन इंटेस्टाइनल इन्फेक्शन caused by Entamoeba histolytica, as I can see say here. Okay, just wait a second. And it is characterized by inflammations and ulceration of the large intestine, resulting in diarrhea containing blood and mucus etiological agent. ठीक है, and its causative organism is Entamoeba histolytica. Infective stage is mature quadrinucleate stage. What is the infective stage? The infective stage is mature quadrinucleate cyst. And the diagnostic stage is ट्रोफोजोएट एंड सिस्ट। ठीक है, डायग्नोस्टिक स्टेज क्या हो जाएगा? ट्रोफोजोएट एंड सिस्ट, यानी कि क्लियर एवरीवन हियर? नेक्स्ट वी कैन टॉक अबाउट द मोड ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन. So mode of transmission is fecal-oral route, drinking contaminated water, eating contaminated food, and proper hand hygiene. Okay, so these are the mode of transmission. ठीक है, अब इसका लाइफस्टाइल के बारे में हम बात करते हैं। ठीक है, सो द मैच्योर सिस्ट आर इंजेस्टेड थ्रू द कंटामिनेटेड फूड और वाटर। ठीक है, सो पहला स्टेप क्या हो गया कि दूषित खाना या पानी के साथ मैच्योर सिस्ट शरीर में क्या करता है कि एंटर करता है। ठीक है, मुख्य रूप से क्या करता है? मुख्य रूप से ये शरीर में प्रवेश करता है मैच्योर सिस्ट के साथ। ठीक है, खाना और पानी के जरिए। ठीक है, देन एक्सिस्टलेशन अकर इन द स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन एंड रिलीजिंग द ट्रोफोजोइट। ठीक है, सो दूसरा स्टेप क्या हो गया कि छोटी आंत में ओके ये जो एक्सिस्टेशन ठीक है होता है और यहीं से ओके ट्रोफोजोइट बाहर आता है। ओके, एंड इट रिलीज द ट्रोफोजोइट। ठीक है, देन ट्रोफोजोइट माइग्रेट टू द लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन एंड मल्टीप्लाई। ठीक है, देन क्या होता है कि ट्रोफोजोइट माइग्रेट करता है लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन में एंड मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं। They invade the intestinal mucosa causing ulcer and dysentery. ठीक है, so some trophozoites form cysts that are excreted in feces. Okay, so some of the trophozoites form the cyst that are excreted in feces. So these cysts survives in the environment and infect the another host. Okay, clear everyone? Okay, then next, just wait a second. Okay, next we can talk about the pathogenesis. ठीक है, so what is the pathogenesis? So these trophozoites adhere to the intestinal wall. Okay, these are the trophozoites which adhere the intestinal wall, and they secrete the enzyme that destroy the tissue and produce the characteristics flask shape ulcer. Okay, so tissue destruction cause the bleeding. Okay, and moles and mucus secretion. In severe cases, parasites enter the bloodstream and spread to the liver, lungs and brain. ठीक है, ओके, इन सीवियर केसेस अगर इन्फेक्शन बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाए तो ये पैरासाइट खून के जरिए क्या करता है कि लीवर, लंग्स और ब्रेन तक भी ये पहुंच सकता है। ठीक है, ओके। Then next we can talk about the clinical features. So what are the clinical features? So in intestinal symptoms, that blood and mucus in stool, abdominal cramps, lower abdominal pain, nausea, mild fever, fatigue and weakness. Okay. Next is prevention and control. So drink boiled or purified water. Okay, you have to drink the boiled and purified water. Practice proper hand washing. Okay, then wash fruit and vegetables thoroughly, then improve the sanitation and sewage disposal, avoid consumption of contaminated food, treat infected individuals promptly. Clear everyone? Okay. So next is we have sample collection and laboratory diagnosis. So the third part is we have सैम्पल कलेक्शन हम कैसे करेंगे और इसका लैबोरेटरी डायग्नोसिस हम देखेंगे। ठीक है, सो द सैम्पल कलेक्शन इज करेक्ट स्पेसिस कलेक्शन इज एसेंशियल फॉर द एक्यूरेट डायग्नोसिस। ओके, सो पहला हो गया स्टूल सैंपल। सो फ्रेश स्टूल इज द स्पेसिमेन ऑफ चॉइस। सो कलेक्ट इन ए क्लीन, ड्राई एंड वाइड माउंटेड स्टेराइल कंटेनर, अवॉइड कंटामिनेशन विद यूरिन एंड वाटर, and if liquid stool should be examined within 30 minutes. If firm stool, then it should properly be examined within a few hours. If delay is accept if delay is expected, preserve the sample using an appropriate fixative. Clear everyone? Next, sample collection is sigmoidoscopy scraping, यानी कि mucosal scraping or ulcer material may be collected during the endoscopy when stool examination is inconclusive. Okay, clear everyone? Next is liver abscess aspirate. Okay, so in suspected amoebic liver abscess, post aspirated under sterile condition may be examined. So trophozoite may occasionally be found near the abscess wall. So trophozoite जो कि occasionally found होता है इसके पास near the abscess wall. Okay. Next is blood sample. So blood is collected for serological test. Okay, blood sample के जरिए भी हम पता कर सकते हैं through the serological test to detect the antibodies, especially in extra-intestinal disease. Okay. Next we can talk about the laboratory diagnosis. Okay, so the laboratory diagnosis is पहला हो गया macroscopic examination of stool. So if I talk about the macroscopic examination of stool, then what is the observance? So the observe of stool for consistency, presence of blood, presence of mucus, तो उसका color क्या है, उसका odor क्या है. So typical amoebic dysentery stool contain blood and mucus, but it usually less profuse than biliary dysentery. Okay, ये था माइक्रोस्कोपिक। देन माइक्रोस्कोपिक में क्या होगा, सैलाइन वेट माउंट करेंगे, यानी कि यूज टू डिटेक्ट द मोटाइल ट्रोफोजोएट, रेड ब्लड सेल, व्हाइट ब्लड सेल, आरबीसी, डब्ल्यूबीसी हो गया। फाइंडिंग ट्रोफोजोइट्स कंटेनिंग इंजेस्टेड रेड ब्लड सेल्स स्ट्रॉन्गली सजेस्ट द एंटामोeba हिस्टोलाटिका इन्फेक्शन, राइट। देन आयोडीन वेट माउंट करेंगे हम, यानी कि यूज टू विजुअलाइज द सिस्ट, न्यूक्ली एंड ग्लाइकोजन मास। ठीक है, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट the microscopic examination. Okay, next is stool antigen detection test, यानी कि immunological method detect specific entamoeba histolytica antigen in stool, and इसका advantages क्या है, it is rapid and sensitive and it helps to distinguish the pathogenic species from the non-pathogenic amoeba. Okay, it differentiates from the pathogenic species from the non-pathogenic amoeba. Okay, next is serological test. So what is the serological test? So useful particularly in invasive disease. Methods include ELISA, indirect hemagglutination, immunofluorescence assay. Okay, so these detect antibodies against entamoeba histolytica, especially in liver abscess cases. Okay, so it is especially for the liver abscess cases. Clear everyone? Then the morphological feature of entamoeba histolytica in trophozoite size is 15 to 30 micrometer and it is actively motile with pseudopodia एंड इट इज सिंगल न्यूक्लियस विथ सेंट्रल कैरियोजम। इसका न्यूक्लियस क्या होता है, सिंगल होता है, और सेंटर में क्या होता है, कैरियोजम होता है। ठीक है, एंड इट इज फाइन पेरिफेरल क्रोमाटिन। ठीक है, क्रोमाटिन जो होता है वो फाइन पेरिफेरल, पेरिफेरल में फाइन मिलता है, में कंटेन द इंजेस्टेड रेड ब्लड सेल। देन इसका cyst, it is also around 10 to 12 micrometer in diameter. Mature cyst contain 4 nuclei, and it is resistant to environmental condition, and it is infective stage responsible for the transmission. ठीक है, see now the question number 2b, that draw a label diagram of rabies virus. Okay, so we will draw a label diagram of rabies virus and describe the collection and transport of virological specimen. Okay, and we will describe that how to collection and transport of the virological specimen. Right, everyone? So as you can see here, the answer, that rabies is a fatal viral disease that affect the central nervous system. Okay, so it affects mainly the central nervous system of mammals, and central nervous system, that is we write also as CNS, central nervous system, including humans. Okay, so it is called by the rabies virus, which belongs to the genus Lysavirus, and the family is Rhabdoviridae. Okay, so in rabies virus, the genus is Lysavirus, and the family is Rhabdoviridae. Okay, so the virus is mainly transmitted through the bite or saliva of infected animals. Okay, so the if I talk about the it is mainly transmitted through the bite or saliva of infected animals. Okay, so especially for dog, bats, okay, pox, and other carnivorous animals. Okay, so proper collection and transport of virological specimens are essential for the laboratory accurate diagnosis. Right, clear everyone? Next, so as you can see here, that this is a label diagram of rabies virus. Okay, so so one by one we study about this structure of rabies virus. The rabies virus is a bullet shape. Okay, so the rabies virus जो कि bullet shape होता है, measuring approximately 180 nanometer in length and 75 nanometer in diameter. Okay, so length कितना होता है 180 nanometer, और diameter कितना है 75. Okay, so the diameter is here, you can see, that is 75 nanometer, and the length, as you can see here, that is 180 nanometer. This is 180 nanometer. Clear everyone? It contains a single standard negative sense RNA genome. Okay, it contains a single standard negative sense RNA genome. Okay, as you can see, this is RNA. Okay, so it is a single standard negative sense RNA genome. Okay, enclosed with a nucleocapsid. Okay, and it is enclosed with a nucleocapsid, as you can see here, this is enclosed with a nucleocapsid. Okay, this is nucleocapsid. Clear everyone? And surrounded by a lipid envelope, and also surrounded by a lipid envelope, and that envelope is known as lipid membrane. Right, clear everyone? Okay, and some of the other level, that is we have, it is polymerase. Okay, these are the proteins. Clear everyone? Okay, next, so the important features of rabies virus, the family is Rhabdoviridae. Okay, so what is the family of rabies virus? So the family is Rhabdoviridae. What is the genus? Genus is Lysavirus. The shape is generally, it is bullet shaped. जीनोम की अगर हम बात करें तो सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड नेगेटिव सेंस आरएनए. ओके, दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, इट इज सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड एंड नेगेटिव सेंस आरएनए. एनवेलप इसका प्रेजेंट होता है. होस्ट जो भी होता है मैमल्स होस्ट होता है, इंक्लूडिंग ह्यूमंस. ओके, और ट्रांसमिशन क्या हो जाएगा, एनिमल बाइट्स, सलेवा और स्क्रैचेस और कॉन्टैक्ट विद इन्फेक्टेड नर्वस टिश्यू. ओके, this is all about some important feature of rabies virus. Next we can talk about the collection and transport of virological specimen. Okay, so you can see here the collection and transport of virological specimen. So correct collection and transport of virological specimen are essential for the successful virus isolation, antigen detection, and just wait a second, I'll erase here all the inks. Okay, it's okay, not necessary like this. Okay, so as you can see that correct collection and transport of virological specimen are essential for successful virus isolation, antigen detection, molecular testing and serological diagnosis. Okay, so poor handling can lead to degradation of viral particle and inaccurate laboratory result, right? If we have poor handling, okay, which can lead to degradation of viral particle and inaccurate result. Okay, correct result will not be happen, it would be inaccurate result. Okay, clear everyone? Then general principle of viral of species collection. What is the principle of specimen collection? So correct specimens are early as possible after the onset of illness. Okay, use sterile equipment and aseptic technique. Collect an adequate quantity of specimen. Labeled all the containers correctly with patient details and collection time. Prevent the contamination from bacteria or fungi and place specimen immediately into appropriate transport media if required and send specimen to the laboratory without any further delay. Okay, clear everyone? So this is the general principle of specimen collection. Okay, next, types of virological specimen. Okay, so what is the types of virological specimen? The first type is we have blood. Okay, so collected for the detection of viral antibodies. Okay, in blood we detect the viral antibodies, antigen testing, PCR and viral load estimation. For example, हम HIV टेस्ट करते हैं, hepatitis B and C, dengue, measles. Okay, these are the tests we occur through blood. Okay, next. Next is nasopharyngeal and thorax swab. Okay, the next sample is nasopharyngeal and thorax swab. So it is used for the respiratory virus. Okay, it is used generally for the respiratory virus such as influenza virus, respiratory syncytial virus यानी कि RSV, then SRS-CoV-2, then adenovirus. Okay, these are collected using the sterile synthetic swab and placed in viral transport medium यानी कि VTM. Clear everyone? Okay. Okay, और थर्ड हो गया saliva. Okay, it is used for rabies diagnosis, mumps virus and certain molecular diagnostic test. Clear everyone? For saliva it is used for the which diagnosis, that rabies diagnosis. Okay, दूसरा हो गया कि mumps virus में हो जाएगा और certain molecular diagnosis test पे भी हम करते हैं. ठीक है, clear everyone? Next is CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. So in CSF, cerebrospinal fluid collected in cases of suspected viral meningitis or encephalitis. Okay, we collect CSF in cases of suspected viral meningitis or encephalitis. Okay, फॉर एग्जाम्पल कौन सी डिजीज हो जाएगा अगर वायरस की अगर हम बात करें तो हार्पिस सिम्प्लेक्स वायरस. ओके, व्हिच वायरस? दैट इज वी हैव हार्पिस सिम्प्लेक्स वायरस. ओके, यानी कि HSV. ओके, हार्पिस सिम्प्लेक्स वायरस, देन एंटेरोवायरस हो जाएगा एंड देन रेबीज वायरस सिलेक्टेड इन्वेस्टिगेशन. ओके, सो these are through the CSF. Okay, then next, stool sample. Through stool sample we also test. Okay, so collected for enteric virus. Okay, so for enteric virus we collect the stool sample. Okay, so such as rotavirus, norovirus, poliovirus, adenovirus. For these virus we collected the stool sample. Clear everyone? Next, collection of specimen for rabies virus in living patient through saliva, cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, then serum, then nasal skin biopsy containing hair follicle, okay, containing hair follicle. Then post-mortem specimen, we have used brain tissue, okay, that is in brain, that hippocampus part, cerebellum, and brain stem. Okay, these are the part of brain. Okay, then spinal cord tissue. Okay, so for postmortem specimen, we collect these tissue. Okay, and for living patient, we collect these all are of the uh, फॉर एग्जांपल सालेवा हो गया, सेरिब्रोस्पाइनल फ्लूइड हो गया, सेरम हो गया, ओके, और नोचल स्किन बायोप्सी containing hair follicle. Okay, so these are the way for collection of specimen for rabies virus. Clear everyone? Next, transport of virological specimen. So correct transport helps to maintain the viability of virus and ensure the accurate laboratory result. Okay, so what are the guidelines for transport? The guidelines is generally for it is a place swab specimen in viral transport medium यानी कि VTM, right? So transport sample at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius if they reach the laboratory within 48 hours. Okay, okay. So transport the sample 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Okay, it is transported through 2 to 8 degrees Celsius if they reach the laboratory within 48 hours. And for longer storage, keep specimen frozen at appropriate temperature as recommended. Okay. Next, use of triple packaging system. Okay, why use triple packaging system? Because of leak proof primary container, leak proof secondary container with absorbent material, then strong outer container for safe transport. Clear everyone? That's why we use the triple packaging system. Next, it clearly label all specimen and include the laboratory request for. Okay, I hope clear here. Next is precaution. What is the precaution? That maintain the cold chain during transport, where we wear the gloves and other personal protective equipment while handling the specimen, then prevent the leakage and contamination, then deliver the samples to the laboratory as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible, deliver the sample in laboratory. Okay, clear everyone? Okay, so this is all about the question number 2B. Okay, then the next question. Okay, so for the next, so draw a labeled diagram of an immunoglobulin. Okay, and name the various classes of immunoglobulins and describe the different tests for detecting the hypersensitivity reaction. Okay, सो क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है कि हम एक लेबल डायग्राम करेंगे इम्यूनोग्लोबिन का, और नेम द वेरियस क्लासेस ऑफ इम्यूनोग्लोबिन. ओके, इम्यूनोग्लोबिन का क्लासिफिकेशन हम करेंगे. देन हम डिस्क्राइब करेंगे डिफरेंट टेस्ट फॉर डिटेक्टिंग द हाइपर सेंसिटिविटी रिएक्शन. क्लियर एवरीवन? सो द इम्यूनोग्लोबिन्स यानी कि आईजी इम्यूनोग्लोबिन्स ऑल्सो नोन एज एंटीबॉडीज. ओके, क्लियर एवरीवन? Immunoglobulins are also known as antibodies. Are generally Y-shaped. It is Y-shaped. Okay, it is Y-shaped glycoprotein produced by a plasma cell. Who is produced? Plasma cell. Okay, plasma cell is produced the glycoprotein in response to foreign substance called as antigen. Okay, for response the foreign substance called antigen. So they are an important part of the body immune system. Okay, so it is the important part of the body immune system which is help and protect the against the bacteria, virus, toxins and other harmful microorganisms by neutralizing them and promoting their destruction. Okay, clear everyone? These are the some intro part of immunoglobulins. Okay, next, as you can see here, this is the label diagram of a immunoglobulin. Okay, so structure of an antibody molecule. Okay, this is the antigen binding site. Okay, this one, this this is the antigen binding site. Okay, and same part here. Okay, this is antigen binding site. Okay, so this is the light chain, this chain is the light chain, and this is the heavy chain, yani ki variable region of heavy chain. This is the light chain, this is the heavy chain. Clear everyone? Also here heavy chain. Okay, then this part is the disulfide bridge. Okay, this is the disulfide bridge. Okay, and here as you can see here, this part is the disulfide bond. Okay, it is disulfide bond which constant region of light chain. Okay, so this is all about the structure of antibody molecule. Clear everyone? Next we can talk about the structure. An immunoglobulin molecule consists of two identical heavy chain and two identical light chain. Okay, दो heavy chain हो गया और दो light chain भी हो गया. ठीक है, and it is linked by disulfide bond. This is important. Linked by disulfide bond. As you can see here, it is linked by disulfide bond. Disulfide bond. Okay. So the upper arm, in upper arm, यानी कि fab region bind specifically to antigen. Okay, in upper arm, as you can see here, that upper arm is bind specifically to antigen. Clear everyone? While the lower stem, यानी कि lower stem, okay, it interacts with immune cell and complement proteins to produce an immune response. Okay, while the lower chain क्या करता है, it interacts with immune cell. Okay, in lower chain it interacts with the immune cell. Okay, as you can see here, right? So this is all about the structure part. Okay, so now the various classes of immunoglobulin. So there are five major classes of immunoglobulin. So there are mainly five major classes of immunoglobulins. So each having a specific function. Okay. So in immunoglobulin, we have each having a specific function. And that is, first we can talk about the IgG. Okay. So in IgG, it is the most abundant immunoglobulin in blood, about 75%. Okay. So in IgG, it is the most abundant immunoglobulins in blood. It provides a long-term immunity after the infections or vaccination. Then cross the placenta and protects the fetus. It can cross the placenta and protects the fetus. And neutralizes toxins and virus and activate the complement. Okay, this is all about the IgG. IgG is the most abundant immunoglobulin. It provides the long-term immunity after infections and vaccination. Then it can cross the placenta and protects the fetus. Then it neutralize the toxins, okay, and virus, right, and activate the complement. Clear everyone? Next, IgA. Next we can talk about the IgA. Okay, so in IgA, it is found mainly in saliva, tears, colostrum, breast milk, and intestinal secretion. Okay, it protects the mucosal surface from the infection. Okay, right. Then it usually exists as a dimer in secretion, play an important role in the local immunity. Clear everyone? Next part, IgM. So IgM is the first antibody which produced during the primary immune response. It is the first antibody produced during the primary immune response, and it exists as a pentamer in blood, and it is highly effective in agglutination and complement activation. Okay, it indicates the recent or acute infection. Okay, so this is all about the IgM. Next is IgE. So what about IgE? IgE is present in very low concentration in serum. Okay, the IgE is present in very low concentration. So it binds the mast cell and basophil. The function is it binds the mast cell and basophil, and it is responsible for the allergic reaction such as asthma, hay fever, and anaphylaxis. Okay, so also helps protect against the parasitic infection. Okay, it also helps the parasitic infections. Clear everyone? Next is IgD. Okay, so IgD यानी कि it is mainly found on the surface of immature B lymphocyte. Okay, so IgD is generally found in the surface of immature B lymphocytes. Functions as a receptors of antigen recognition, helps in activation and maturation of B cell. Okay, so this is the five various classes or यानी कि major classes of immunoglobulins. Clear everyone? Okay. Next, so the test for detecting the hypersensitivity reaction. Okay, which test we done? So hypersensitivity reactions are exaggerated immune response that occur when the immune system reacts excessively to the allergic or antigen. So several laboratory and skin tests are used to detect these reactions. Okay, so several laboratory and some skin tests are done. So पहला हो गया स्किन प्रिक टेस्ट. सबसे पहला क्या हो गया कि स्क्रीन प्रिक टेस्ट. ओके, so screen prick test, it is the most common test for immediate type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. Okay, for immediate type 1 hypersensitivity reaction, screen prick test is most common. So how do we do that? A drop of allergens is placed on the skin. Okay, a drop of allergen is placed on the skin, and the surface is gently pricked, So development of a whale and redness within 15 to 20 minutes. Within to 15 to 20 minutes, it is something type redness will be occur and whale like structure. Okay, it indicate at a positive reaction. Okay, used to diagnosis allergens to pollen, dust, mites, foods, and animal dander. Clear everyone? Then next is intradermal test. Okay, second test is intradermal test. Intradermal test, it is a small amount of allergen is injected into the superficial layer of the skin. Okay, so what can do here, that a small amount of allergen is injected into the superficial layer of the skin, and it is more sensitive than the skin prick test. It is more sensitive than the skin prick test. Okay, mind it. Okay, got it? Then used for detecting the allergens to drug, okay, insect venom and certain vaccination. Okay, these are for the intradermal test. Next is patch test. Okay, so it is used for the delayed यानी कि type IV hypersensitivity reaction. Allergens are applied to the skin under the adhesive patches for 48 hours. Okay, so positive result indicate the allergic contact dermatitis caused by substance such as nickel, cosmetic, rubber, and chemical. Okay, next is serum IgE estimation. So in serum IgE estimation, it measures the total or allergen specific IgE level in blood, and it is increased the IgE level support the diagnosis and the allergic disease, particularly used when the skin test cannot be performed. Okay, so particularly it is useful whenever the skin testing it cannot be performed. Clear everyone? Next is ELISA and other immunoassays. Okay, in ELISA test, it detects the specific antibodies or the allergens in the patient serum, and it is helpful in confirming allergic condition and monitoring the immune response. Okay. Okay, next is challenge test. Okay, what is challenge test? The suspected allergens is administered in a controlled medical setting, and it is considered when routine tests are inconclusive, and it should be only be performed under the strict supervision due to the risk of severe allergic reaction. Okay, so this is all about the long question part. Okay, so we'll be ending here. Okay, we'll be ending here. Your question number A, B, and C all are completed. Okay, so in next lecture we discuss the short notes part. Okay, so I hope you understand all the question. Okay, so if you understand, then like the video and subscribe my channel. Okay, so thank you everyone.